Egotastic FunTime. Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Talking The Orville on Egotastic FunTime. Today, we're going to have a great time talking about Seth MacFarlane recently being spotted making, and I quote, goo-goo eyes with Halston Sage the other night at a jazz club in Los Angeles, and what this might mean for Alara in Season 2 of The Orville. Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, or good news, really. I hate to be the bearer of news because that means I have to do something. And if you knew anything about me, you'd know that I love doing nothing. Ask my buddy Ron. He'd be the first to tell you I'd work all day if it meant nothing got done. Yes, on Monday night, June 4th, Seth MacFarlane performed at Herb Alpert's Vibrato Grill and Jazz Club on Beverly Glen. For those of you who don't know, because you don't live in La La Land, Vibrato is a great club because it brings music and food together in a sumptuous harmony for an experience that's a delight to all the senses. My buddy Ron, who I was telling you about earlier, he loves that place because he's a huge jazz aficionado.
On nights like this, when the cold winds blow and the air is awash in the swirling eddies of our dreams, come with me and find safe haven in a warm bathtub full of my jazz.
Thanks to a fan of the show on Twitter, Joe, who broke this story to me and sent this pic in from the event of Seth sharing a private booth and cuddling up with Halston Sage. So it would appear that Seth and Halston are back together. Now, I hope things work out for these two wacky kids, but what does this mean with all the rumors about Alara being written off the show? Seth MacFarlane wouldn't fire his girlfriend, would he? Would he? Like I've been saying the entire time, it's never been officially announced that Halston is leaving, though it still seems like it's a huge probability at this point. Perhaps it was put in the works back when things weren't going so well between the lovebirds, but things change. Hearts change. Personally, I've currently been reconnecting with someone from my past where the breakup was a pretty horrific and dragged out experience, and now I couldn't be happier with how our separate journeys have led us back toward each other. People change, situations change, everyone is on their own path, and sometimes your path will coincide with someone else's path, so you can walk together for a little while as you head towards your separate destinations. Synergy. But if these two really are trying to make a go of it, that doesn't mean that Alara leaving isn't still the best thing to help nurture their relationship. Leaving a job and getting fired from a job are two different things. Pro tip, getting fired from a job is always better because then you can collect unemployment. If you knew anything about me, you'd know that the only thing I love more than doing nothing is money, especially if I'm getting that money for doing nothing. So why do I feel that Alara leaving the Orville is still on the table, despite Seth and Halston getting jiggy with it? Well, let me tell you. I talked words out of my mouth many months ago about the rumor that Alara was being written off the show, then about how I heard that Seth MacFarlane and the producers of the show didn't necessarily want to get rid of her completely because she's become such a fan favorite and that it might negatively impact the show. So they might have Alara get injured because being away from her homeworld for so long has caused her abilities to dissipate over time. This would give them the perfect opportunity to test the waters a bit by having Alara go back home to Solea by the second episode or so and see how fans react. Have her space Skype into the ship every once in a while to check in or something like that. That way they can bring her back later on if there's a fan uproar. We also know that Robert Picardo is returning to the show as Alara's father in episode 2 of the new season, Home, directed by John Kasser. Now, why is Ildis Catan making an appearance in episode 2? Does Alara need him for some reason? Why is the episode called Home? Is someone going home in the episode? Why are they going home? For how long are they going home? Then later, we found out that Jessica Zor had been cast as a member of the crew, and I hypothesized that she might have been cast to replace Halston Sage as the new Solean security officer. But really, I was just thinking out loud when I said that. Then recently, we see leaked footage from the Orville Season 2 shoot at California State University Northridge, where we see Jessica Zor really is playing a Solean security officer named Tala in the scene. This only amplified the possibility that Halston Sage could be leaving the show, at least temporarily. Then, to make matters worse, I told you guys about the entire main cast of the show getting free car chargers as gifts from Buku. The car charger people! Everyone's character name is listed, including Tala, but Alara's name wasn't included in the gift package. What does that mean? Why doesn't Halston get a car charger like everyone else? Does she not drive a car? Just recently at the television network upfronts in New York City, the entire cast of the Orville went to the event in a private jet to pitch the new season to advertisers. Halston Sage was with them. Here she is on the red carpet. But she isn't seen in any of the cast photos. But why? Maybe she doesn't want to step on the toes of the new direction of the show and Jessica Zor replacing her, assuming there is a new direction of the show and assuming Jessica Zor is replacing her. I did find Halston during the event, though, hanging out with Alara's Obi-Wan herself, Penny Johnson-Gerald, aka Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman.
Oh! Girl, I don't even know how to manipulate this thing.
It's good. No, you're doing a good job.
I'm doing a good job. Hey, you guys. This is from Penny and Halston. We love you.
Right. So much.
So very much.
Now, while there is a lot of evidence to suggest we're going to see less of Alara in the upcoming season, that doesn't mean that it's true or not true. Sure, what if they planned on writing her off the show months ago? That doesn't mean it wasn't a mutual decision. Halston Sage is an actress, and while the Orville is an amazing opportunity, I'm sure she would want to do movies or shows that better showcase her talents that don't involve such a big ensemble cast. Maybe Seth is wise enough to realize that having your girlfriend also be your employee isn't conducive to a healthy relationship in most cases, and vice versa. Maybe Halston doesn't want her boyfriend to be her boss. I know how I'd feel if I was in their place. Damn. I would love to be in Seth MacFarlane's place, you guys. Hell, I wouldn't mind being in Halston's place either. I bet you guys I'd rock a little black dress on the red carpet. But let's just say, now that time has passed, that Halston and Seth might have changed their minds and Alara isn't going anywhere. She's going to be part of the entire second season. I personally don't feel like that's the case, but really, what the hell do I know? Seriously, you guys. I don't work on the Orville. So what if Alara stays? And please don't quote IMDb to me. Halston Sage has been included in all episodes of season 2 of the Orville since season 2 was announced to be 14 episodes long. IMDb, especially with a show as secretive and tight-fisted as the Orville, is only partially reliable this early on. The current main cast is automatically rolled into the list as a default. You'll also find Jessica Zor and Chris Johnson's names automatically in the cast list because it was announced that they're on the show next season. IMDb is user updated like Wikipedia, so don't expect any cameos shown or main cast listings to be completely accurate until the episodes actually air. The only listings that are accurate are those of non-essential cast members like Man number 2 or some random character that you'd never be able to guess what their role on the show is for. They didn't reveal that Rob Lowe was playing Derulio until episode 9, Cupid's Dagger, aired, even though Rob Lowe actually did portray Derulio in the pilot episode, Old Wounds. They wanted it to be a secret. It was a secret. Now, one of my arguments of why I still think that they're sending Alara back to her homeworld is because of the fact that Jessica Zor is playing a Salan. Alara mentioned in the pilot episode that it's extremely rare for anyone from her world to join the Planetary Union, so that when one actually does, they fast-track them through the ranks. There are 3,000 ships in the Union, and with such a small amount of officers enlisting that have superpowers, they're not going to have 2 of them serve aboard the same mid-sized cruiser. That's just inefficient. As far as writing a TV show goes, it would be lame to have 2 women with the same height and build play characters that are so similar looking in character makeup. But that's just it. We don't know anything about Jessica's character, Tala, except that her first name ends with a vowel and her last name starts with a K. Kind of like Alara Katan. Oh, and her mom, Denala Katan. That's weird. Anyway, just because we saw Jessica as a Salayan security officer at the CSUN shoot doesn't mean that she's a Selayan security officer at all. She could be a shapeshifter of sorts. Maybe she comes from a chameleon-like race of people who could slightly change their appearance to a certain degree. Maybe Alara does get injured, but they need Tala to pretend to be Alara in order to keep the Rigorian Council in check during the away mission. Tala could very well be the new navigator who takes John Lamar's place next to Gordon at the helm. Perhaps Alara does want to go home and leave her post in episode 2 when she gets injured, but her father Ildris convinces her to stay because he's had a change of heart when it comes to serving in the military, though I doubt he's changed his mind about humanity as a whole.
Well, yes, the humans, the hillbillies of the galaxy.
I do know that at least 6 episodes of the upcoming season have been shot and are ready to hit the editing bay full steam ahead. So whatever Seth MacFarlane has decided to do with Alara in this season is already done. And I'm sure that the rest of us have a very long wait until we find out exactly what's going to happen. But whether Alara Katan stays or goes, probably goes, we're going to get through it together, you guys, okay? I'm here for you. JP's here to kiss the boo-boo. Just like Yaphet was there to help Bortus when he had tummy problems.
Dude, it stinks down here. What the hell you been eating?
Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about today, and I talked about it. How about you? How do you feel about Seth and Halston getting jiggy with each other? Despite everything we know so far, how do you think Alara might stay on the show? If Tala isn't Selayan, what could she be? Let me know your theories by joining the conversation below. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing to my stupid show. It really does mean the world to me, you guys. And don't forget to hit up egotasticfuntime.com to get more updates and additional EFT content. As long as the Orville is a thing, you guys, Talking The Orville is going to be a thing. So if you want to stay apprised of news, live chats, scoops, reviews, fan theories about the show, consider making a pledge by clicking on the Patreon link right down there in the description. I'll see you very soon, and as always, I hope all your times are egotastic fun times. Love you, bye-bye! Oh, thank God the air conditioner's back on. Damn.
Egotastic fun time, we're gonna have a great time. Egotastic fun time, give me all your money. Give him all your money. You will find it funny. Just give me money. I love money. Give me all your 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 money.